Welcome to another trip down the Bourbon Road with your hosts, Jim and Mike. So grab a glass of your favorite bourbon and kick back.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jim Shannon.
And I'm Mike Hyatt.
And this is the Bourbon Road. And today, Mike, it's another Craft Distillery Monday. I just want to be honest. We've recorded a few episodes today. and we've had a few bourbons.
We have.
So we're going to have some fun today.
We are. And not quite a craft distillery.
A little bit bigger than a craft distillery.
Yeah, because they own MGP or now, or MGP owns them. Heck, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so
there.
I mean, they were smaller, but they got acquired.
Yeah.
So who are we talking about?
We are talking about Lux Row.
Yeah.
Down in Bardstown.
Bardstown Darling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very beautiful distillery. We've actually been to this distillery together, did their tour, went backstage, I guess you could say. And
we've had their whiskeys on the show more than once.
Yeah.
And let's just be upfront about this. It is a weeded whiskey.
Yeah, it is a weeded bourbon. It is new though. So, as soon as I saw a bottle of it, I had to snatch it up.
Yeah.
I was giggling like a little schoolgirl in the store today. I saw it and I was like, oh man, look at the price on that thing.
So no longer does it say Rebel Yell.
No, it just says Rebel. The guy that got caught and they're playing the game.
It's cancel culture.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I get it. You want to rebrand. That kind of goes against that old thing. Don't rebrand unless you have to. Maybe they had to. But Rebel is known out there. They got some lower brands.
Mm-hmm.
They got an 80 proof. They got a 90 proof. They have a 100 proof that is their Rebel Yell 10-year, which I love.
That's some good stuff.
Yeah. I've got a surplus of it. Not giving any of that away. But they also have the Distiller's Collection, which is their single barrel picks out there.
Which I remember some phenomenal pours.
Oh, man.
Really good pours.
We've drained a couple of those bottles.
Yeah.
I really, really love that whiskey. Could easily go up against some of our Bourbon of the Year picks. But this is the Rebel Cask Strength. And I was excited when they released that because me and you always say, hey, you know what? This tastes better as cask strength or full proof or barrel proof, whatever you want to call it. This is also, Jim, a single barrel.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing, right?
Well, I think it's great because you get a little bit of it's kind of like opening one of those toys from when you were a kid. You went to McDonald's and you went through and you got a kid's meal. You opened it up. You didn't know what it was going to be.
Yeah.
Well, the same thing with a single barrel. You have no clue. It could be something totally unicorn.
Now, this was picked from Cox's Evergreen Liquor Store. So, there's a lot of Cox's out there stuff.
Yeah.
So these are available, and I'm sure they picked more one barrel because they are a large conglomerate stuff. But if you can get your hands on one of these, I would say pull the trigger. $59.95, Jim. This is 120 proof.
120 proof. Single barrel, cask strength, a pick.
Yeah, from what I know, these are right around 8 to 10 years old.
Okay.
So it's the same bottle as the Rebel Yell 10-year. If you look at it, nice. You look at that juice in there. It's a little dark in here.
But it's a dark whiskey.
It is a dark whiskey.
Yeah.
Is it a good whiskey? That's what we're here to talk about.
We're here to find out. We're going to let people know. Should you search out this bottle and add it to your bar?
Usually if we talk about it, you better get it.
It kind of works out that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We do a lot of bourbon reviews in private.
And well, yeah.
Not every bourbon whiskey makes the show.
Nope.
So if it makes the show, your ears should perk up.
I think that's a fair way to do it. Why beat a brand up? Why not call them back and say, hey, why don't you work on that a little bit more?
Yeah, I remember watching, you remember American Idol? Remember the show American Idol? They would have all those singers come on, and about a third of them would be duds, and they'd give them a hard time.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Then you got The Voice. The Voice came on, right? Now, The Voice is totally different. They only let the ones on that are good. We're kind of the voice of bourbon.
Well, that's
the bourbon voice. That's us.
Man, we better trademark that, Jim. The bourbon voice. The bourbon voices. Yeah, this is a great bottle. I think it's going to be, it's got some age on it. It's been aged in those Kentucky barrels. Jim, you know what else is coming out of those barrels?
Fine art for sure. Cruise Customs Flags, one of our sponsors, he's making these beautiful American flags out of recycled bourbon barrels. Yeah, man. And I've got one on my bar mic, and it's kind of the centerpiece. And every now and then we'll do a photo shoot from the bar there, and it makes it into the picture, and it's something nice to see. You got one on your bar too?
I do. I just really love the artwork. The thing I really love about it is me and you both being veterans. I like when a veteran helps out other veterans. And what Chris there at Cruise Customs Flags does is he employs combat veterans to help him build those flags, put them to work, get them to use their hands, taking their minds away from the struggles and the sacrifices that they had to make. And it doesn't get much more patriotic than that, right?
That's right. And at the end of the day, if you end up with a product that is like it's kind of the centerpiece of my bar, but they make big ones too, right? They make really big ones like the General that you can put in a conference room. If you got a large store, if you got a large business, I'm just thinking all the different places that you could hang that, a lodge, a bed and breakfast. If you wanted to showcase your patriotism, nothing better than buying an American flag made it out of bourbon barrels from Cruise Customs Flags. Check them out at cruisecustomsflags.com. Buy some of their product. They got some other great stuff on there. If you're a bourbon drinker, they got the whiskey grill made out of oak. They do. They've got the key holders. They've got a lot of great stuff on there. Check them out. Definitely a great company. Definitely proud to have them as a sponsor. What a great guy, Chris. Really has a vision for what he wants to do. Love it every time I get to talk to him.
Yes, sir. Well, back to this whiskey, Jim. Let's get to it. I know our listeners are like, what are you two jokers doing? Let's nose this thing.
This is Rebel. This is the Cask strength. Wow. Oh my goodness. That's really good, Mike.
I get a lot of cherries on this.
Yeah, that's a cherry nose. Yeah.
Cherry Twizzlers?
Cherry Twizzlers, a little bit of like an oaky tobacco, but not too strong. Kind of didn't they have like a tobacco chew that had like cherry in it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So sort of like that, like a cherry tobacco.
Well, they had a little cigar too, that Swisher.
Cherry Swishers?
Yeah. Yeah.
Swisher Sweets?
Yeah. Yeah. It does have that note to it, right?
Yeah, it does. Wow. That's a great nose.
Deep, like rich, potpourri flowery. That floral notes are just coming out of it.
A little bit of earth to it, not too much, but it's kind of grounded, I think, a little bit. Let's taste it. Cheers. Little sizzle there.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, man. How much proof was that?
I don't know, but there's a buffalo running down my chest right now.
Yeah, so that's definitely wakes you up. A little bit of heat.
That's pretty powerful.
Yeah, 120 proof, right?
Mm-hmm.
120-ish.
It's every bit of 120.
So they're single barrels, so they're going to be a little bit different, but they're in the 120 range.
Yep.
That's a big boy whiskey. That's a grown woman whiskey. You definitely have to have your big pants on if you're going to drink this one.
There ain't no doubt about that. Still really good. It's got a Kentucky hug on it all day long. It'll grab a hold of you, like I said. That cherry's in there, but I get more oak and tobacco.
Yeah, definitely more on the oaky leather, tobacco-y kind of into things once it hits the palate.
The best bag of Pop Rocks you've ever had is in this glass right here.
Definitely. Going back to the nose now, it's a little more earthy. It's a little more leathery. It's funny how, you get a lot of that cherry when it's just the nose, but after you take a sip and you go back and revisit the nose, you start to pick up a little bit more of that leather and that oak and the tobacco.
mouth coating on this thing.
Yeah.
Even with all that spice, it's still very viscous, very creamy. I get a little hint of citrus on there somewhere. I don't know if that's that cherry juice kind of playing through.
Yeah, cherry juice. I think you're right. I think cherry juice is probably the right word there. Kind of a little bit of a dry cherry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not so much of a sweet cherry. There's not maraschino. It's not, it might be, what's that, Mount Morency cherries? Is that the one from the Upper Peninsula?
Northern Michigan, Traverse City area.
Yeah.
Very, this is a wintertime bourbon right here.
Yeah, this will warm you up. No doubt about it. I think that this, I could have actually used this bourbon in Florida this last week. It was cold down there. It was terrible.
Nope, not a fishing trip.
No, this wasn't a fishing trip. So Melody and I went to Florida to escape the cold of Kentucky. And now it was 3 degrees or 9 degrees in Kentucky when we left. We got down there. It was 40s and 50s. But that's not what you want when you go to Florida.
No, you want sunshine, warm sand.
Yeah.
Maybe a heated pool.
Yeah. No, we didn't get that. We did have a heated pool. And we had a couple of days where it approached 70, but most of the time it was rainy and cool. I would say high 50s, mid 60s every day, which is, again, not your perfect Florida weather. But when I got back to Kentucky today, I arrived in this morning, got back to Kentucky, it's mid 50s. I'm thinking this is Florida weather.
Well, this probably would have been good on that trip then.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely for the price.
What was the price, Mike?
$60.
$60 for a cask strength single barrel weeded whiskey out of Bardstown, Kentucky.
You're not going to beat this right here. It is like you said, you better put your big boy pants on, your grown woman pants on, whatever you got to do before you drink this thing. This ain't a bottle to mess around with. It's a sipper.
Yep.
I wouldn't put it in a cocktail. I wouldn't waste it in a cocktail.
No, don't put this in a cocktail, and don't introduce it to your first time bourbon drinker.
Mm-mm.
Let them grow up a little bit before they get this bottle.
But for the Weeded King of Kentucky, I'm loving it now. That Kentucky hug's kind of it's gone away. I like it. It's got that medium to long finish on it.
Yeah,
it's just so viscous. I like when it sits there and you really makes you think, man, this is a nice whiskey to sip on.
So when you're getting that hug going, when you're sipping on that whiskey, you get that warming effect, right? It starts warming your throat, and it kind of works down to your chest a little bit. And if it goes any below that, the first thing you think about is Prilosec.
Yeah, at our age, there's no doubt. We've actually went into the store together to buy some before. This was like a buffalo kicking me in the chest at that first sip. After that, it kind of went away, and I think my palate got used to it. But that first sip, I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
It hit me pretty hard. But a great bourbon, buy all day long, obviously for me. But what about you? Because you're not you like weeded bourbon, but you're not a weeded bourbon guy.
And I would say if you like hotter, more aggressive single barrel cask strength whiskeys, you should add this to your bar, no doubt, guarantee it. If you like a little bit softer stuff, something not so aggressive, this reminds me a lot of like the weeded version of Stag Junior, right? I mean, that's probably the best way to explain it.
That's a great explanation. I don't know why they put this on here, but they said defiantly smooth.
Well, smooth is a relative term. It is smooth on the palate, but boy, I tell you, when it hits it hits your esophagus, is where it goes. It takes charge.
You could swallow a rock and not have that.
It's good bourbon, though. It's great bourbon.
Yeah.
I have to say that. And this is definitely there's a certain bourbon drinker out there that this is the right stuff.
Yeah, for the Weeded King of Kentucky.
Yeah, and you know who you are. If we're talking about this, and you know who you are. So go get you a bottle of it, no doubt.
I know we have a whole bunch of weeded bourbon drinkers in our Facebook group, the Bourbon Roadies and stuff. And I'm always excited. My shelves I'm changing out rye for wheat lately here. We drank one lately, ASW, and I was proud to put that up right beside, because me and you drank a new riff, red turkey wheat that both of us were like,
it was good.
Wow,
yeah,
this is
no
really,
doubt.
really good, right? This might have to go up on a shelf. I don't know.
And Legends is up there somewhere, aren't they?
Legends isn't up there. It's downstairs.
But the reason is because, I mean, it's kind of, we've talked about it so much.
Yeah, I haven't opened that. That's an unopened bottle. I have a bourbon shelf downstairs too, and it's just down there. I carried a bunch of whiskey down there. I don't even know why. I think I thought we were going to talk about it one time, and we just didn't talk about it. But it's down there. But I got shelves up in our great room, and I think this might go up on the shelf. I don't know. I'll have to look at all the weeded bourbons that are up there. Maker's Mark has a whole bunch up there, and Weller's obviously has a whole bunch up there. But I'm always glad to find something like this, Jim. It's nice to go into a store, and I went in the store to get a bottle of Ancient Age and found this.
Yeah. Yeah. Great find, Mike.
Sometimes and then when I was up at the counter, the guy was like, "Hey, I got this in today too." And I ran across a bottle of Willett Family Reserve, a blend of bourbon and rye.
Sure.
Which is a weird bottle.
So it's a boo rye.
A boo rye, or
I think High West coined the phrase boo rye. But yeah, there's been a few companies that have mixed bourbons and ryes together and called it
boo rye,
something like that.
Mixed rye or bourbon rye. I don't know. But the point of all that is make sure when you go into a liquor store, be friendly, have a smile on your face. Don't treat people badly, and you might get offered a bottle. I got offered a bottle today, and I smiled ear to ear, and I should have called you. But I think there might still be a bottle of that left there, and hopefully you can get a bottle if you want a bottle.
Yeah. So let's have a lesson here in how to talk to the person behind the counter at a liquor store. So you could say, "What you hiding behind that counter?"
Yeah, that's not the way to do it, right?
No. Or what could you say?
We say, "Hey, I'm from out of town. I'm on the Bourbon Trail, and we've been looking for stuff, and this is the bottles I'm looking for." And if they don't have it, smile, say thank you very much, and maybe purchase something else.
Sometimes they will say, "No, we don't have that, but we do have."
Yeah, they'll offer you something different.
So be nice. Don't pass on the hate, right?
I've been in the store when people walk in and that's all they're doing is hunting.
Got Weller?
You got Weller, you got Peppy, you got this, you got that. And the person will be like, "No, I don't have any of that." And sometimes it's just the clerk. They don't know any better.
Mm-hmm.
And then the people get nasty with them, and it upsets me a little bit to see that. I don't like rudeness. I want people to be smiling and cheerful and having a good time. And it's just, you don't get nothing with being nasty to somebody. You get everything. You can really open up a door with being nice to somebody. Kind of like me and you went to Drake's down in Owensboro, Kentucky.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all walked in there, and that girl, she was having a rough day.
Yeah.
We started talking to her. Of course, we're talking about our podcast and drinking whiskey and drinking bourbon and stuff. And it just brightened her day up to talk to us. And next thing you know, we got there, she said the kitchen was closed. But 15 minutes later, that kitchen was open, and I was eating a fried bologna sandwich.
Yeah, man. Thick bologna sandwich.
Thick bologna. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Jim, where can people find us on social media?
Well, you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on TikTok. We actually are really starting to move up a little bit on TikTok. You can also find us on YouTube. We have audio only on YouTube, but listen to us there if you like. We do put out 2 shows every week. We do a Monday episode and a Wednesday episode. Monday episodes are usually short, like today's, where we take a single expression like Rebel and, the cask strength. We'll talk about it. We'll let people know whether or not they should add it to their bar. On Wednesdays, we'll do a longer episode. We'll have a guest on. We'll go through a few expressions. We'll explore a topic. We want to make sure that you get a chance to listen to every one of those episodes. And Mike, how do they do that?
Well, you want to scroll up onto the top of your app, hit that plus sign, that check sign, that subscribe sign. whatever you got to do to get your app to tell you, hey, these two jokers have a show coming out today. Get you to work, like Jim said, get you home sometimes. The next thing you want to do is scroll on down, hit that 5-star review. Also, add those comments. I don't care what you got to say. They can just say, these two guys are great. But if you don't, what will happen is I'm going to grab this bottle of Rebel Cask strength. I'm going to grab my big friend, the big bad booty daddy of bourbon. We're going to come over to your house. We're going to drink all night long. We'll finish this bottle, which is going to be tough because it's powerful. But by the end of the night, you're going to give us that 5-star review with a bunch of comments. I guarantee. But seriously, those comments, those 5-star reviews open up doors to distilleries. They get great whiskey in our hands. We'd really appreciate it.
So we'd love to have you reach out to us directly. Reach out to us by email, come to our website. We have a contact us page. Hit us up on Instagram. Let us know if you've got an idea for a show. If you've got a whiskey you think ought to make the show. If you think you've got an individual who would make a great guest, let us know. You can always send us an email, jim@thebourbonroad.com, mike@thebourbonroad.com. Probably the best way to reach us, though, is to hit up our DMs on Instagram. I'm Jay Shannon63.
I'm Big Bourbon Chief.
And we'll see you down
the Bourbon Road.